Hello, welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we are reviewing from the Star Wars, the Black series, and the Book of Boba Fett series, Black Krrsantan. Now, this has been an anticipated figure for me. They released the comic version of Black Krrsantan out a little while back, and yeah, I was a little bit unhappy with a repainted Chewbacca. But lo and behold, we now have this one here, and I actually saw this for the first time in the flesh when we went to Star Wars Celebration up in London, and yeah, I was blown away by it. So now I've got him in my grubby little mix, and we can actually get into the actual review here. So looking at the front of the actual packaging, we just got him there with a kind of a green ore coming over the top of the picture there of the computer rendering kind of image, I guess, of Black Krrsantan. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. It looks really detailed up top there, so I hope the figure is like that. On the side we have his little mural kind of picture, not looking too bad, and on the back we've got a small little bio, and he is number 4 in the Boba Fett series as well, with more of that picture in place there as a full embodiment. And on this side we got him how tall he is. He's 6.9 inches, so he's actually a deluxe figure, and it comes with one blaster as well. So I guess without further ado, let's crack this bad boy open. So here he is in all his little cryo sleep, so not looking too bad. He actually fills out the box, which is quite nice. So just pull him out. He actually feels really quite robust, to be honest with you. Let's just rip these apart. That's when the tape goes all around on his feet. Ooh, just knocked the whole office down, but hey ho. But let's get him out, and just like so, our first impressions. And yeah, he's looking really nice, looking really cool. I like the sort of size of the actual figure himself as well, and that detailing is really popping with all that gold as well. So yeah, can't wait to put him through his paces, and we'll see you in a mo for his review. We've been away, we are taking this guy's pictures, and what can I say about this guy? Well, to be honest, he's not a bad looking figure, and I think Hasbro have done him well, although there could be a lot of better ways of utilising the figure, that is for sure, just saying off the cuff there. But yeah, nonetheless, it is a really good figure, but we'll get into those nitty gritty parts as we go through the review itself. So here he is holding his blaster. Now, I was going to sort of like play with this a little bit later on. I've gone away, I've actually taken him out and about in the fields and stuff and took some photos as well. Normally I kind of have a little play on the shelf, do my review, etc. But it's been a little while. I've had him about a week of play, and I wanted to see if I can love him more, and I have done so the more I've been sort of playing with him, because I really wanted to like this figure, and I do. So first of all, this is the best way you can actually get him to hold the gun. Now, it's not exactly ideal. He kind of just holds it just off to the side in the hand there, and it just rests over the top. You cannot get that kind of grip down there, or the stock of the rifle underneath his arm or into the actual forearm there. It just doesn't work. His articulation isn't that great for that. So this is just a quick little look around how you can get him to sort of like be in an assault mode kind of shooting. But anyway, we're looking to the first accessory, or his only accessory anyway, which is his large blaster here, and it looks really nice. It's done in quite a few different colours here. It's done mainly in the sort of darker gun grey here. We've actually got some red lights on here, and it goes into a silver, which then goes into this nice sort of blue on the end there, where he's been sort of overheating the gun. So yeah, it does look pretty cool. It's just a shame that the stock and all that is just a little bit too large. I kind of would like them just to sort of like not make it super accurate, and maybe reduce this down a little bit, or maybe I was going to say on the spring, but you know, those sort of days are gone back in the 90s. But I don't know, just sort of something where we could sort of change it, or it wasn't as big. Maybe if they just reduce the size a little bit. Well, I have done that before now with the Republic guns as well, so just so you could hold it a little bit better. But yeah, really good, like nice details on there. You got all the extra sort of like ribbon parts around. We've got this kind of scope on the top, which is very similar to Chewbacca's bowcaster, which is pretty cool. And so yeah, it is a pretty cool gun all in all. That actually stores on the back as well, so there's a little sort of tiny little nub here just at the top of the gun. And then we have this sort of little kind of hexagon little port here on the back of the figure, which then can go in so like this. It's not exactly the best secured thing. It does pop in there. It has got a lot of security on there, but you know that just a tiny little push on there will knock it out of its sort of socket. So that's it from the front there, where it's hanging down the back. So yeah, it's cool that he can actually carry his weapon. Really, it's probably like the better way for him to be holding the gun rather than in his hand, unfortunately. But yeah, so there is that, and that is all his accessories. So with that, we can actually go into the poor part of the actual figure, which is his articulation. And as you can see, it's going to be quite tight already. So when I first got the figure, this was kind of already tucked underneath his hair, just a bit like this one here, but actually pulling these out just a little bit so they sort of hang down on the shoulder, you can actually get a little bit of movement here in the head. So you can turn left and you can turn right. Can't really look down much, can't really look up at all, and that is on a ball joint just inside there, so you can just pull that off to get that to those parts. So I would ideally sort of recommend dropping these down just a little bit so it comes from underneath his head, so you've got that more articulation there in the rotation. So on his arms, they can come up this far. Got a nice butterfly joint inside there as well, so you've got a little bit of movement around on the inside. Full rotation, but obviously hindered by the shoulder pad itself. And then we've got the rotation here at the elbow on the single elbow joint, rotation at the wrist, and there's also a small little hinge on there as well. But again, that's hindered by the extra fur around the outside. We have got a diaphragm sort of swivel here just up the breastbone, so you can turn left and right, a little bit of crunch and back, and you've got a bit of swagger in there as well. And as you come down, there's no rotation down here, so the full rotation here is up his upper body. Leg wise, they can come up this far, they can go forward, they can go back, and then there's no upper thigh rotation here, unfortunately, but there's rotation down here at the knee, just like so. And then you've got a single knee joint down there as well, comes up to a little bit more than 90. And then we've got the rocker and the pivot at the ankle, but again, it's kind of hindered by all this extra fur that's tilted around. I kind of wish it was a little bit more softer around these parts, and then it'll be sort of more movability. But yeah, where this guy really kicks out, really comes to life, is the looks and the paintwork that they've applied to this guy. It looks really nice, and this is what I fell in love with at the Comic Con, or the 40th anniversary Star Wars celebration, or whatever it was. It for it was for Return Jedi, wasn't it, the 40th anniversary? But yeah, it looks really cool here. I mean, just the actual sort of faceness and the sculpt of it looks great, where it's highlighted by this fur and the gold as well, and it's a really nice looking gold. It's not that kind of horrible pearlescent kind of sort of plastic that they've used before. Now it's got a really nice kind of look on it. I would even say it's got like a bit of dry brushing or some bronzing over it as well for the highlighting, which looks cool. Down on the pouches down here, we've got these sort of brown parts sort of holding it into place, and we've got that nice embroidered kind of gold plate there at the front. The actual hair around on the back as well looks really cool, with those sort of extra braids coming down those dreadlocks as well, and continue on that gold around, and they've also got paint on the back as well, which is cool. And then we've got that little socket just there, and then on his belt again, carrying on that gold with a nice bit more embroidered at the front there, and then on his knuckles as well. It's only like little gold parts there. I kind of thought the whole lot would have been sort of gold as like knuckle dusters, but nonetheless, it's just the actual spikes that are done. But the inside of the hand, I'm surprised, actually has the handle there in gold as well, which is pretty cool. And then we've got this sort of extra Wookiee braid or something down there. It looks a bit too plasticky, does need a little bit of a black wash on there just to highlight those sort of details. And then we've got that extra pouch around on the back with a bit of weathering on there as well, which is really nice. No extra kind of whitening over the actual figure on the back there, it's just the light hitting it, reflecting back. But on the front, he's actually got a lot of white as well. But yeah, just that mouth there looks pretty cool. The eyes look quite dark, but it's because he's got the overbrow on there, so when the light hits in the eyes, you can see it. He hasn't got his scar. There's supposed to be a little scar at the top here, a little pink scar, but that isn't there. But it looks kind of sculpted in. I think there's just seems to be like an extra little line there that's not painted, so maybe at a later date we can do that. But it's really nice, all that extra detail there in the mouth. The lips are like in a little bit of purple with the parts there inside of the pink and the teeth as well, so it's good that they got in there and gave us all those details. And the fur as well is really nice looking as well, so it looks a fantastic figure. It looks great on the shelf. He looks fantastic. It's just a really letdown that his articulation is a big poor kind of side of it, really. So it's good, like he's a good looking fella, because otherwise he wouldn't be that great, to be honest. So he's won by looks, but personality, yeah, isn't there all intact. But anyway, another thing a lot of people have been saying is about his height. His height is a bit shorter than Chewbacca. So this is obviously Chewbacca here, and this is a black Krrsantan. So I don't know, this is my general opinion, but I do think that Chewbacca is oversized. My Chewbacca is custom painted, by the way, so that's why it's a little bit darker. If you've got any questions there, it's not a limited edition or anything like that. But I always felt like Chewbacca was way too tall for this for Black Series. Just comparing him to Han Solo, like, I know they're on the screen at times, but this is just too huge in my opinion compared to Han Solo. I mean, I think Harrison Ford is like 6'5" or something. I know he's a tall guy. I know this guy's over 7'2", and I think the guy that played Black Krrsantan is only about 6'7". But even still, I still feel like this is like way too tall in my opinion. It just looks too massive compared to any kind of the figures on the shelf. But taking Chewbacca away, and let's pretend that Black Krrsantan is Chewbacca and this is Han Solo, I believe that's more of a sort of like a true life comparison. Even if this guy was a little bit slimmer, it would make him look a bit taller as well, more slender, more sort of like lanky, which I think it will actually look a lot better. But yeah, in my personal opinion, is just a little bit too tall here. I think Chewbacca is. Anyway, let's take these guys out. That's just my kind of thoughts on these sort of size. But we can bring in Boba Fett here. I really need to sort out this Boba Fett. His helmet is absolutely awful for this guy. I really need to go off and do an upgrade for him. But yeah, we can actually put him side by side with the actual figures that he's supposed to be from. I did have, I don't know where she went. Here she is. Oh yeah, Fennec Shand as well. So yeah, it's quite nice to have that sort of like a book of Boba Fett kind of going on the shelf. I just wish now, instead of getting loads and loads of different Boba Fetts down the line, we actually give us an actual book of Boba Fett. But who knows, hopefully down in the future. So thank you so much for joining me in this one. I'm going to give this sort of figure probably a... I would love to give it a gold, but it's because the articulation is just awful. But I do feel like Hasbro have really pushed there in the sculpt, the looks, compared to that other Black Krrsantan that we had in the past. I think it's really good. So I'm going to give him a silver. Just my personal opinion, I think he looks great, and you just have to try and work with what you got with the articulation. And that's kind of it, really. So don't forget, you can comment down below, you can subscribe, you can ding the bell. Let me know in the thoughts down below about the size of Chewbacca. What do you feel? Do you think they should bring out a new Chewbacca, maybe a little bit more in reduced size, like they did with R2-D2, who gave him a bit more of an upscale? Let me know in those comments down below. You can subscribe and you can ding. Oh, you can do anything you like, but also you can join the channel for 99p or 99 cents from wherever you're from. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.